Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. 3 o'clock location, we got StRyKeR starting as the blue Zerg, bottom left hand corner we got Artosis starting as the yellow Terran. This is on Dominator, and StRyKeR, man, let me try, I've had trouble clicking tonight for some reason. Anyway, on Dominator it is, so where was I? StRyKeR up 1 game over Artosis. Actually had Reddit conversations happening in the background in subthreads that probably will be long buried by the time this is released. But people were, it was an interesting thread actually. People were asking, okay, outside of Korea, who are the best players? And I would argue that China tends to dominate the top 5 probably. I feel like Boneth and Mihu slip into the top 5 as well. It's just really hard to categorize it just because there's not enough crossplay. Mihu more times than not has won in those instances, and Janhoon has been really high up there. But anyway, the long story and short of it is outside of China, outside of Korea, there's kind of like a top 10 list right there. And I would say StRyKeR, even though I don't put him at top 4, usually, behind Boneth, Zeke, Boneth, DeWalt, Zeke occupy the top 3. Zeke's usually solid number 3. By the way, is that a bear? Is that an 8-Rax? Yeah, it looks like it was an 8-Rax. Here from Artosis, so he's gonna go some sneaky play. Wants to get early Marines out to get some harassment done here against StRyKeR. This is a very risky opener. StRyKeR looks like he is gonna open up hatchery first, by the way. Anyway, the long story short of it is I wanted to say I don't feel like StRyKeR oftentimes occupies that 4 spot, but he certainly occupies in the top 10. That is what all of that was intending to spit out. Not my best opener to a commentary ever, but point being he's really, really solid, and I think definitely a favorite to win all of this, even though he's in the lower bracket from here. Initial Marine constructing double SCV scout to try to find that base to get early pressure on. I will say Artosis sometimes executes this well and sometimes executes it poorly. And I would say that's about a 70, probably higher positive execution, 80-20 split. 80-20 split. Sometimes his Marine, and it could be actually, there's a large aspect where I see him play this on ladder more often than not, and that's also got to factor in because the lag is a big impact as far as how rapid you are able to get your units to respond. Right now there's no lag, so 0 excuses. StRyKeR sees the initial Marine count, recognizes he needs to pull the boys, has 4 drones out in the field, a 5th drone trailing, needs to pull back and regroup. I think this is a particularly hard map to execute this on though, because and an SCV, by the way, taking damage, which every little bit counts, and that is actually significant. This was going to be a secondary backup SCV that got 0 damage. However, the rest of the SCVs in the Marines kind of sneaking through. StRyKeR has a cutoff route. Looks like he is able to isolate 1 Marine. Has taken some damage. Bunker on the way. We do have the spawning pool up, some Zerglings being built, and so 3 Marines should be able to get across, but StRyKeR does have a cutoff route. You can see Artosis holding the Marines on the short ground, and he'll have to hopscotch bunkers if he's going to be able to even do that. The Marines have gotten separated from the bunker right this second, so StRyKER's got some pretty good, and Artosis has kind of built the double location where he can apply pressure from both directions, where this bunker covers that bunker. The drones looking to engage SCVs, 2 additional SCVs coming alongside, and we have some Marines coming alongside. Thus far, we've seen 2 SCVs die, and not a lot else, and it looks like the Zerglings are going to get the full surround on this bunker before the SCVs are able to get there. So dead bunker, well defended from StRyKeR, wipes out everything, and oh, that was just a really, really solid defense from StRyKeR. I do want to say that an aspect of this is just a lot harder to execute, in my opinion, on this map because of the darkness, because of the lack of vision in between. So now StRyKeR, though, honestly, Artosis will be lucky if he doesn't die at this stage with all the Zerglings that are flooding out. This could be a very fast one. We got 5 Marines, 2 SCVs alongside. That should be enough to repel, especially with a little bit of cruff, but some Marines might lose their lives on the front. Bunker's been wiped out. That was a heavy investment from Artosis here to start, and he got basically nothing for it. He is even going to lose, wow, that barracks having to float off, the Marine dashing to the wrong direction, it's going to get picked off, so StRyKeR getting bonus on top of everything else. The Zerglings walking underneath that barracks and getting a little bit of support. Careful, Marine, that's not the direction you want to go. Finally a seal on his front, but now StRyKeR feels a complete lack of pressure. A refinery getting dropped from Artosis. Is he going to swap this into mech? That could be an interesting play. Or is he just dropping this to get alongside the normal build order? He's got some trouble Yeah, because the Spire is already complete. So the question now is how does he get anti-air up? There's the Academy along the way as well. He does have 6 Marines that he's constructed thus far, but usually you want to have +1 weapons, you want to have range, and he's going to need some turrets, and he's going to have to do it on what has been a blunted economy. In fact, StRyKeR is already exceeded his worker count. An Overlord kind of on the far corner. Can't, I think it... See, I'm not sure whether that sees... Okay, we'll see there. It does see the flashing of the barracks to get confirmation as well. Second barracks getting dropped. Academy, 2/3 finished. And the Academy... Yeah, Artosis is going to be in a hard spot. He's going to have to invest very heavily in turrets just to stay alive. Natural expansion now being saturated. He's going to have to invest very heavily in that. And on top of that, StRyKeR, his Mutalisk micro is just stellar. Absolutely stellar. 12 o'clock base getting grabbed from him. So not only does Artosis have to survive the Mutalisks, he needs to put himself in a strong enough position, investing in comsats just in case, to see what he's up against. Wanted to make sure it wasn't a lurker turnaround. Second gas drop here from StRyKeR. The other thing is even if you comsat this natural expansion, +1 weapons being invested in here from StRyKeR to make those Mutalisks hit even harder. You comsat the natural expansion as Artosis, you see that second gas, it still might end up looking like a Muta all-in. Single medic, Artosis making his way out. Comsatting, no sunken colonies here. Mutalisks are being built. Is this enough? I think this army gets wiped out, and that might be game? We'll see. So the Marines are forward. Does StRyKeR expect them here? This is certainly going to be a sacrificed army. Artosis grouping up. Yeah, the medic Marine dropping. Does this give time? I think Artosis calculated this sacrifice to get turrets up on time in the space of it. Firebat has snuck out to the north. Zerglings might be able to engage right there. The turrets pushing the Mutalisks back to the main. This Firebat, is he going to get across? Might be able to outrun the Mutalisks. Thinking about chasing that Firebat? That Firebat's got some legs going all the way around. But now Artosis has 0 army, very little map pressure, 3 turrets in his main, 2 turrets at his natural expansion to provide a little bit of support. He's still going to need Marines to fill in before he really is even going to feel safe interior to his own base. By the way, it doesn't look like that Firebat made it all the way around. Was eventually wiped out. Was it by where was one of the Zerglings a killer? I have a feeling it was one of the Zerglings. And the Mutalisk count grows on top of that. And as soon as it hits about 7, which is at right this second, the turrets are at risk. As soon as it hits 9, it's even scarier for the turrets because that's a 2-shot. And when you have +1 weapons, it's even faster kill opportunities. So yeah, some SCVs getting raked over. StRyKeR doesn't even care about losing Mutalisks here. Lost a Mutalisk there, is just happy to rake in. Just go turn this into a Muta micro map. Drop back down to 7, which is still enough to get some halting. Artosis, nice lineup wall right there to box it in. StRyKeR re-engaging. Wow, he's managed to chew through a lot of SCVs. So we got 3 SCVs left here in the natural expansion, and that is due to the lighter Marine count. Unable to provide support. StRyKeR assaulting with impunity. Queen's Nest has already been dropped. We have a Hydralisk Den that honestly wasn't needed here. Comsat just to check the front. Sees the Queen's Nest. Were we going to go 3 barracks? I don't know that Artosis can afford to go 3 barracks into factory, but he might want to risk the factory to get just to... Yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and risk it. This is very late, by the way. This is extremely late factory. After everything that's to be expected after everything that's happened up this stage. Nice stim, got some good damage. Was thinking about moving out of the map, but now the 10 Mutalisks diving in with that +1 weapons, making short work of the turrets. I think on 9, a full, especially with +1, 2 full hits of the Mutalisks wipes the turrets out. And so a few of them are missing their shots here, and it's just being left to burn, like 1 or 2 shots in between. Artosis is trying to get out of the map just to find some breathing room here, but the Mutalisks might be able to just full on engage. We do have +1 weapons and range complete alongside stim. Factory is complete. Immediately lifted off. We got the starport. It's likely just gonna have to be a single starport and the science facility. Artosis is trying to hunt down these Mutalisks and bully them around a bit. However, we're now looking at nearly a full... This is effectively We'll call that a Zerg dozen. It's like the inversion of a baker's dozen, because the drone or overlord you're gonna have in the control group to allow for better microing. But anyway, Marines getting assaulted, the reinforcements also getting picked off. StRyKER's up 20 supply on top of everything else, and this was medic light, and this medic trailed away to make matters even worse. Now those medics gonna lose their lives. This is very likely GG off the Mutalisk assault and just the delayed economy to begin with here. Double Sutton Colony on the front just in case, Nidus Canal just in case, Lurker just in case. 3 Lurkers making their way to the front. They're probably going to encamp right here on front. We do have double starport and a science facility being built, but this is too late. And you've got Lurkers that can walk the Marines into the Lurker line, and Defiler's probably not that far behind it. We do have the Lurkers are in place before that Defiler mound is already up, and this control group of Marines is going to be insufficient to wipe out the Lurkers. We might have, never mind, dropships being built from Artosis while that science facility is being constructed. The Lurkers continuing to press forward. There was a comsat, but with the Lurker coverage, sorry, with the Mutalisk coverage, you really can't even dive into that. Yeah, and he's recognizing it here. GG, well played, and the very manner good luck moving forward. That is unfortunate. Just really the opener blowing up in his face. So Artosis is eliminated really deep into this tournament against a player who was favorited to win it all. So no shame in that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.